All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shemi, Shai, Shem, Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the Akim pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. And you see the title on the lesson basically going into the New World Order in the scriptures. And this is the New World Order organizational chart. Of course, the New World Order is the term that's usually coined by the Illuminati of the New World that's to come in the future times where it's going to be a new established, dynasty. It's going to still be this so-called royal house, which really is a house of filthiness, so-called white Edomites. And this is the top echelons of the house of Edom, the Amalekites of these Rothschild Jews. And what entails the New World Order is tells you in the Georgia Guidestones the putting everything to a one world language to basically establish a dystopian society, which it will in turn be the so-called white man's utopia. And one of the major plans in the New World Order, which you had Aaron Russo that had an interview with one of the Rockefellers, and he spoke about microchipping the people. So all these things go into the New World Order plans of the Illuminati, the so-called, Jews that dwell, in Europe and different parts of the world today through these different houses. And you have, the so-called royal line, Illuminati royal bloodlines. It says the Rothschilds, the Astor, the Bundy, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedys, Lee, Onassis, Rockefeller, Disney, Russell, Van Doon, Merovingian, and Reynolds. All right. And it says foundation nations of the New World Order: America, England, Israel, Australia, and China. Right. And America, when you look at the three city states, America is America represents the military aspect of the city state. England represents the financial, and you have, of course, the Vatican, which is basically in the midst too, because who truly runs the Vatican? The international bankers. All right, so they run the religious aspect, and that's why you have under in the guy, under the in this category, it has under religions, and it has the Vatican and the Jesuits, and it also has the Satanists, because all these different religions, they're all wrapped in the same. Everything is coiled in the same, spirit, so to speak. And you see how everything is linked to the New World Order, from the educational to the religious, to the intelligence agencies, to the political, to the financial market, to the research institutions, and even the secret societies. Everything is connected, and you have under these major corporations such as McDonald's, Chrysler, you have Coca-Cola, so on and so forth, Dow Jones. All these are linked to these houses. See, it's a pyramid scheme, and you have these devils that are running these different countries and running these different institutions, and they all want to control and have full dominance. And this is an old plan, and I want to go into it from the beginning, because the New World Order plan has always been trying to be established since the beginning of time. All right, because another word for the New World Order is the one world government, and I'm going to read it in First Maccabees, the first chapter. And this is I'm just going to hit the point, because this is when the Seleucid dynasty came into power after the death of Alexander the Great, which I'll read that in a little bit in the beginning. After Alexander the Great died, you had the four generals that established themselves, and they made wars one to another. And these four generals, they ended up gaining territories. So this is First Maccabees 1:1. And it came to pass after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. So Alexander the Great, the son of Philip the Macedon, reigned in the realm of Grecia or Greece. It said, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place. All right, and those servants were his 4 generals, Cassander, Lysimachus, Ptolemy, and you had Seleucus Nicanor the first. All right, and they had different wars, which those wars were known as the Diaduchid Wars, and they also warred against this one of important general at the time also, who was Antigonus. And after the fight of the Diaduchi, basically Cassander lost his realm, Lysimachus lost the realm, and it became the Ptolemaic dynasty warriors against the Seleucid Empire. And the Seleucid Empire, that's where you have Antiochus Epiphanes. And when he came into power, he was all about taking down the Israelites. And I'm going to read that, jump into verse 16. Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms, right? Because he had the realm of all that land, but Egypt was ruled by the Ptolemaic dynasty. And I'm really just going to jump down to the point, because there was a back and forth scuffle between the 2 houses, and they were looking to establish the New World Order at that time through what? Hellenization. Hellenization was a one world religion. It was a one world custom where all nations had to follow the spirit of Greece. And it wasn't only the Israelites that were losing their nationality. It was also the Africans at that time, certain Middle Eastern, certain individuals all throughout the Middle East. They had to follow Hellenism, all right, which is the same custom. When you go into Hellenism, it's the same tactics, and it's the same spirit and vibration as the one world order. All right. And this is verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. All right. That's the one world order, because he was looking to put all kingdoms in one, and it's establish them and have them be one people, speak one language, one world order, one government. All right, one faculty of laws that all follow, one religion, one ideology, one practice. And that's why matter of fact, I'm going to keep going. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agree according to the commandment of the king. Right. So they even made it to where the heathen had to come in agreement to follow the commandments of the kings, to follow this one world government. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So when Antiochus came into power, that was one of the commandments to basically live in filth and idolatry. And you had Israelites that agreed with those plans. And that's how we know in these days today that there's going to be a lot of Israelites that's going to take that microchip. There's going to be a lot of Israelites that's going to actually agree with the principles that the New World Order is going to be faceted upon. Like today, you have this this one chick, I forget her name, but she was speaking about the basically the wall of Donald Trump needs to be put up. You know, she has a affinity for Donald Trump. She had the dress that had the brick and mortar on her back, and she had "Make America Great Again." You know, she had the Lady Liberty crown on, and she was basically frolicking, at the award show all over the place, pushing the agenda of America. When she's a straight up and down Israelite, man. She's supposed to be pushing for the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. Which, hey, we know these women to be fools anyways. All right. that's not even a woman's job, to be honest. A woman's supposed to, sit down in quietness and learn in submission under her man. But hey, through the liberty of the society, that's one of the main principles that's pushed out. Because Esau has a term in his New World Order, which is ordo ab chaos, create a lot of chaos and a lot of orderly conduct to establish order, and hence to introduce the New World Order. And this is all the way back in Genesis. This is all the way back in the beginning of time, because this plan has always been in motion with the heathens. All right, to come together and establish a rule that all may follow and all may come together to keep. And the plans that Esau just took the records of the heathen, and he's looking to establish that plan on top of other things that he's looking to accomplish within that plan. Which one of the major things that Esau desires is the microchipping. All right, even here in Georgia, we have the Georgia Guidestones, and some of the New World Order principles is keep the language at a one world language, and one of the main things also is the depopulation. All right, because Esau is all about population control, eugenics. All right, and that spirit was during the time of Antiochus, and it was all the way down. It was always all the way in the beginning in Genesis, the 11th chapter. So Genesis 11:1, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, a new world government, a new world order, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And is that not what the so-called white man is doing? You have in New York City, which I have queued up, the One World Tower. All right, which goes into Esau's One World Order. And Esau deals with numerology. He deals with witchcraft. That's why when you look at the height of the tower, it's 1776. What happened in 1776? You had the establishment of the United States when America became independent from breaking off with Great Britain. And you also had, let's see, when was the Illuminati started? It wasn't started, founded. It was actually founded in 1776. Actually, May 1st, 1776. Here it is. The Bavarian Illuminati, an Enlightenment era secret society founded on what? May 1st, 1776. And even in the military, they still use that term May Day. May Day. May Day is a short buzzword for really the New World Order without them actually even knowing. They just use that term in regular speech. But at May Day goes into witchcraft, man. Because May 1st, 1776 was the day the Illuminati started. And they had the One World Tower they established this One World Tower to represent what? A one world government, a one world order. Going all the way back to what? Genesis, the 11th chapter. Says that the whole earth was of one language and one speech. And when they jumping down back to the verse that I was in, verse 5, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do. And is that not in the New World Order plan in the Georgia Guidestones? Look it up. It's to have a one world language. A one government language. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up. Lord willing, they'll have it. Yeah, because somebody actually plastered something on it. But unite humanity with a living new language. And this is all part of the New World Order here in Georgia, all right, in Elberton County. And we've been here a couple of times. All right, so this plaque is still erected, it's still established, and the New World Order is still pending. All right, it's still in the workings. But the Lord is not going to allow that to happen. The Lord is going to destroy the plans of the elites as he destroyed in the beginning and even during the time of Antiochus. All right, because it was righteous men that always stood up and they pushed against and they resisted the wickedness that was to be established at the time. And just like it said, they were looking to build their tower onto heaven, just like Esau. Esau's wickedness, when you read in Revelation, the 18th chapter, it reached unto heaven. And that's why the Lord is going to destroy Babylon as he destroyed the ancient Tower of Babel. All right, as he destroyed the New World Order through the Hellenization back then. All kingdoms that tried to raise themselves up and make themselves gods like Neo-Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar, it got broken down. What did the Lord show Nebuchadnezzar? That he's a man and he's not the Most High. He doesn't have the power. All right, he's just a mere mortal individual that's being instructed by the power that be, or the powers, which is the Alahayim. So I'll jump to verse 7. Go to, let us go down, and there confound the language. And this is what the Lord did. Confounded the language of the heathen. Matter of fact, I'll go to verse 6. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Right, because it's in man's mind to imagine evil, the wicked devices of the cruel, so to speak. All right, continuing on. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, which the word Babel is a Hebrew word babal, which means confusion, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Right, and Babylon is established today through what? America, the virgin daughter of Babylon, that's being resurged and is pushing the same plan. Even that deadly wound of Babel is being healed just like during here. All right, because the heathen, they never got destroyed. They still had the plans, but they got scattered into different parts of the earth. And best believe it was, it was all heathens that were coming together to establish this new world order. And it tells you in Psalms, the 83rd chapter, how all these heathens come together to come against the will of the Most High and come against his righteous, which is the elect of the nation of Israel. But this devil is